Ho ho ho, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Well, until maybe 2 weeks ago, I had really never given much thought to that question.
That wasn't until I saw this meme on a friend's Facebook page, chuckled because it's a funny meme, and then I waded into the comment section. And good lord, people are passionate about whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Me being me, I couldn't help but think, what even is a Christmas movie? It also gave me an excuse to rewatch Die Hard, which is, let's be honest, awesome. Could I answer the question of whether Die Hard is in fact a Christmas movie or not? Firstly, I wanted to get the case against Die Hard being a Christmas film, so my first port of call was to the person who set all this in motion by posting that meme on Facebook. I asked him the following question: Mark, why exactly isn't Die Hard a Christmas movie for you? And this was his reply.
Hi, everybody. Mark Withers from Collect or Reject, show about comics here. And I just wanted to take a minute and weigh in on the age-old question, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Now, in my view, it's not a Christmas movie because it leaves out a fundamental element, and that is the Christmas spirit. Now, I know what everybody's going to say. There's about 21 or 22 different Christmas-related elements here, 4 Christmas songs that play. It actually takes place during a Christmas party, but that's not the heart of the movie. The heart of the movie is an action film, and it could take place at any time of the year. These details are just set dressing, if you will. There's not really anything integral to the actual concept of Christmas that's sort of woven into the plot. Aside from that, these are some very valid points. However, one other crucial counterpoint is that it was released in July of 1988. So it was always intended to be a summer blockbuster. And most Christmas movies are released around Christmas time, at least as far as I know. Now, I could be wrong about that. Ian, of course, is the expert. But that is my take on it.
All very valid points that I actually almost to the word agree with, except I'm an expert in nothing.
But you know who is an expert on comics? Mark. So check his podcast, Collect or Reject out, link in the description.
With this in mind, and in an attempt to try and take some of the subjectivity out of this, I decided to consult Google as my next step and ask it, what even is a Christmas movie? Turns out, nobody really knows, but the most common criteria I saw crop up time and time again were as follows.
Number 1, the film must be set at Christmas. Number 2, the Christmas setting must be integral to the plot. Number 3, Christmas characters feature prominently. Number 4, the film must feature one of the traditional Christmas themes. Number 5, it is traditionally viewed at Christmas. Some movies, of course, meet all 5 requirements, such as the Dudley Moore classic Santa Claus the Movie, a film I probably saw on the BBC every Christmas for about 23 years in a row. It's set at Christmas, features Christmas characters heavily, and there is absolutely no way you could remove the Christmas setting from the plot without fundamentally changing the entire film and the film's themes of faith and redemption. Other movies only meet 1 or 2 of the criteria. In other words, they are traditionally shown on TV at that time of year, and that alone obviously doesn't qualify them as Christmas movies, and they may or may not accidentally feature Christmassy themes such as redemption, hope, generosity, or faith. Think Star Wars, Indiana Jones, or Zulu.
So with our criteria in hand, let's rewatch Die Hard and make an argument for whether it meets each one or not before coming to some sort of conclusion.
This is an unequivocal yes. The film is clearly and obviously set at Christmas, and this manifests in several ways. Within the opening 10 minutes, we see John with a Christmas present for his kid. He's in LA for Christmas with his family. Nakatomi Plaza is having a Christmas party. Hans Gruber uses that to sneak in and take over. There's also Christmas music, Christmas decorations, and even a mention or two of Santa. So that's 1 out of 1 in favour of Die Hard being a Christmas flick. This on the surface seems like it is another easy point in favour of Die Hard. However, I personally think it's not so clear cut. Yes, Christmas is kind of integral to the plot as written. John McClane is an absent father and husband, only in town because he is visiting his estranged wife and children for the holidays. Plus, the movie is set during a Christmas party, which is the pretext that allows Hans and the terrorists to take over the building, as security is reduced due to it being Christmas, and everyone has already gone home for the holidays, with only the guests at the party and a skeleton crew of security working that night being in the building. But, and it's a big but, none of these things are actually so integrally connected to Christmas or the plot of the movie that you couldn't rewrite the script to remove and replace Christmas with some other plot device and keep the film essentially the same. John could be in town because he's visiting for another holiday. Independence Day, Thanksgiving, a kid's birthday, whatever, it doesn't matter. A whole host of reasons could reasonably be concocted that don't include Christmas or fundamentally change the film's narrative in any way, shape or form. The same goes for the Christmas party setting, and that being the pretext for Hans' invasion being that night. Over the years, many films have imitated Die Hard, and they have all taken different and just as plausible directions for the building having a skeleton crew, and very few people working in it that day. Talking of the building, it's a great example of something that is integral to the narrative. If you take away Nakatomi Plaza, you'd essentially have to rewrite the whole script. It's a locked down building action film that just happens to be set at Christmas, but could feasibly be set at any time of year and the story wouldn't change that much. Having said all of that, I am going to give this half a point because unlike some films that are set at Christmas, and by that I mean you see Crimbo decorations in the background once or twice, some effort was actually made to incorporate the Christmas setting into the plot. So that is 1.5 out of 2 in favour of Die Hard being a Christmas flick. This is a much easier one to answer. It's a definite no. Santa is mentioned a few times and we see Santa decorations in the background, but at no point is he or any other traditional Christmas characters a prominent feature. I would have given this maybe a half a star if one of the terrorists was killed in some Christmas-themed set piece, like they fell onto Christmas decorations or explosives were hidden up Rudolph's ass or something, but we get nothing like that. So this is a big fat 0 for Die Hard on this one, which takes us to 1.5 out of 3 in Die Hard's favour. Another category that I see a lot of people say is a slam dunk in favour of Die Hard. But is it really? Let's explore why it is first before my argument as to why it isn't all that clear cut. The major theme of this movie is redemption, with the secondary theme being the bringing together of a broken family. The redemption arc is set up right from the outset with John being an absent father who put his job and himself above his wife and family. He also didn't believe in his wife enough for him to consider giving up his life in New York for a new one with them in LA. By the end, he discovers that the only thing he really truly cares about in life are his wife and kids, and he's bled blood, sweat and tears to get to that lesson. We also see Sergeant Al Powell have a redemption arc of his own when he saves John right at the end, because earlier we hear that he shot and accidentally killed a child. Saving John is movie shorthand for redemption. He had made a mistake and now he's overcome that and saved the day, therefore redeeming his prior indiscretion. Then at the very end of the 2 hours and 12-minute runtime, it's heavily hinted that John and his wife get back together and their broken family will be reunited and whole again. Both of these are themes that have definite traditional Christmas vibes and are the cornerstone of a whole raft of definite Christmas flicks. But, And it's another pretty big but. They are also both themes that can be found in a whole bunch of 70s, 80s and 90s action hero movies. Absent father trying to save family, and in doing so learns the value of family and its meaning in life, is literally an action hero film trope. It is that common. I think this film could be set at any time of year and have the same themes, and it wouldn't fundamentally change them because they are basically universal to the genre of this film, that being 80s action flick. So again, in the interests of fairness, I'll split the difference and I'll award half a point, bringing us to 2 out of 4 in favour of Die Hard being a Christmas flick. Another potentially contentious category to round the categories out. Contentious because you could watch Die Hard at any time of the year, and as Mark previously stated, it was always intended to be a July release summer blockbuster, which is what it was. For vast stretches of the runtime, you never even see a Christmas decoration. It isn't Elf or Christmas Story, 2 films you'd only ever really watch during the holidays, and were both released in November, the traditional release month for Christmas flicks. However, Die Hard is a film I have probably only ever watched at Christmas, because it was on TV as part of the Christmas lineup. It isn't on the BBC this year, I don't think, but it's probably on some channel somewhere over the Christmas period. And I know for a fact it is part of some people's Christmas traditions to watch Die Hard. As such, I'm going to have to give Die Hard a whole point for this one, because there's more in its favour than against, bringing us to a grand total of 3 out of 5 in favour of Die Hard being a Christmas flick.
Is 3 out of 5 enough to make Die Hard a Christmas flick? Well, it's time for me to sit on a fence and say, it's enough for it to be a E1 if you want it to be.
I think 0 to 2 points would have been a definite no. 3, it's got a fair bit of Christmas cheer in it. 4 out of 5, it's definitely Christmas. For me personally though, it's an excellent 80s action hero flick that just happens to be set at Christmas. But I will never tire of rewatching, but do let me know what you think down in the comments. If you want to make my Christmas, then consider giving this video a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.